And today, we have the honor of sitting down with Anthony Nayagan, a remarkable individual who wrote the book Supreme Realization. In your first book, you were able to inspire us to deepen our spirituality and enlighten our minds and relationship with God. Can you tell us about this second edition of your Supreme Realization?
The second edition came about because there are quite among Catholics and also non-Catholics who are not accustomed to the concept of mystical theology. A lot of secular Catholics are very reluctant to embrace it because it is not one of the subject matters that's talked a lot about in the church. In fact, nobody talks about it. Among the non-Catholics, they are clueless about mystical theology. Yet, mystical theology is ever since Jesus, where Jesus left off, up until Emperor Constantine institutionalized the church. Mystical theology was very vibrant in the church. You know, we had desert fathers, we have many saints, and many theologians who came out of these mystical foundations. But before Constantine, we had so many of them. Anthony the Great, Anthony the Abbot, is St. Catherine, and there are so many of them. We had a very, very vibrant tradition of mystical theology. And unfortunately, Christians don't want to talk about it. And the Catholics, well, they don't want to talk about it either. The problem is there are hundreds of millions of people leaving the church and embracing other religions, hoping to have some spiritual experiences of their own. They don't realize Christianity has all of it to offer. So they are leaving the church and they're going everywhere trying to explore other religions to see if they can have spiritual experiences in their life, wisdom in their life. They want to experience these things on their own. And it's not one or two people leaving the church, hundreds of millions. The book is pretty much written for them. It's a reintroduction of what mystical theology is, what a mystic is like. Non-Catholics think it's some kind of a voodoo culture. Even Catholics are very afraid to embrace it. The traditionalists of the church, they're very reluctant to even talk about it. They would rather hold on to their traditions. And if they would rather retool what they already have, they would rather concentrate on that. But as far as changes, as far as embracing mystical theology back, they don't want to touch it. So we don't get to hear about mystical theology from the traditionalists of the church. And that's the reason why I wrote this book. The second edition is specifically written for that. Number one, all of us have to have an idea of what mysticism in the church really means. And second of all, I need to give an answer to the people who are leaving the church in hundreds of millions in search of other religions for wisdom and the truth, real experience of enlightenment. And they are seeking Hinduism, they are seeking Buddhism, they are seeking all kinds of other religions. But what they are seeking for is very much there in Christianity. We have them all. It is not something we need to go out and look in other religions. And the second reason is there is a major difference between what the other religions talk in terms of spirituality and what Christianity talks in terms of spirituality. When you are embracing other religions, the other religions will take you to a point of self-realization. Self-realization meaning that you are enlightened of your own self, so that yourself and the universal consciousness could coexist in harmony. That is what enlightenment in other religions is all about. So the mindfulness and consciousness as mindfulness, it means a lot when you are embracing other religions. Christianity is not that. Christianity takes you beyond self-realization. It is far more advanced than self-realization, Christian spirituality is. It just takes you all the way to the realization and enlightenment in the being of our Father in heaven. That is supreme realization. It has nothing to do with self-realization. Well, self-realization, it's a stepping stone, but it's over and beyond that. Over and beyond, it takes you to the realization of the being of our Father in heaven. That is the image and likeness of which we are created. So we will realize our own image and our own likeness as to our Father in heaven. That is a lot more than self-realization. Lot more than self-realization. That's what Christian spirituality is all about.